Grazie. Hi everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. We're just going to get started. We're going to give another minute or two just to let a few more parents join, and then we'll get started. Hi everybody. Welcome to today's parent webinar. My name is Mrs. Gray and I am the Acton Early Years Lead at Capital School. And I'm here today to give you a little bit of an introduction into the Early Years Foundation Stage curriculum at Capital School. So thank you so much for joining us. Before we begin, I'm just going to let you know that we do have other members of staff on the call that will be able to take some messages. So I'm going to leave the live chat button open. So please feel free to add any questions or any queries into the box and we will be able to come to them at the end. Just going to give another minute because we've got a few people just trying to connect here, and then we're going to begin. Okay, let's begin. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. If you're here today, it probably means that you're a parent with a child in early years, and it's an exciting time in their school career. And today I'm going to give you some introduction into the Early Years Foundation Stage curriculum. Here at Capital School, we have the EYFS framework, the Early Years Foundation Stage, and we develop our children using this curriculum. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to run through a PowerPoint. At the end, we will have some time for question and answers. So please use the chat button if you've got any questions. So we're going to begin with just a little video. You may have seen this video before, and it's a really nice video to give you a bit of a feel of the early years department here at Capital School. So sit back and relax for a few minutes, and then I'm going to come back on and have a chat.
Here we are in the early years dedicated reception area. This building includes FS1, FS2, Year 1 and Year 2. And Capital School is widely known for its excellent early years learning programme. Our younger children can enjoy access to a dedicated library, junior sports hall, and extended interactive play spaces inside and outside, where they can play and learn. Let's take a peek inside. The children this term chose to learn about dinosaurs and even helped decorate their area into this super fun and educational jungle. Hi, Dr. Brian.
Hi again.
Hi. So, can you tell me this time about the Early Years Learning Programme?
Yeah, well, their curriculum has several elements to it. They do their personal, social, emotional needs. They do where they sit in the world. They do expressive arts. But there's always a focus on literacy, on reading, on maths as a key part of their day-to-day work. But it's all done through fun.
Can we have a look in the classroom and you can tell me what goes on in there?
Let's go in. Lovely big rooms, as you can see. Very busy rooms, but this is because learning in these rooms is all about fun and all about getting the most language and literacy that children can. And you can see that they come in here, they might sit on the mat for their beginning of the day, and then as soon as that happens, they then move out to these different areas where they could be doing water play, construction, they could be doing reading over in the tent there. It's all of these sort of activities that are action-packed and usually choice-driven by the students.
Fantastic. Sounds like there's a lot of fun and learning happening in this room. Here we are in the generous and well-resourced library, where all children borrow at least one book per week, and even the parents are welcome to borrow a book too. Capital School is heavily involved in the community and encourages family engagement at all times. Here I am in front of one of the many language classrooms in this school. Fun fact, all the children here learn French and Arabic from FS1. One of only a handful of schools in Dubai to offer this, and certainly the most affordable. The aim is to ground each child's education in modern languages and solve the problem faced by all current British schools in Dubai in delivering the Arabic language to an exceptional standard. I know that my favourite part of school was always playtime, and this playground certainly would check all the boxes for me. Purposely built to encourage flexibility, strength, overall balance and motor skills, all very necessary in the physical development of children. Beyond us is a full-size football pitch and basketball courts. The children at Capital School are lucky enough to enjoy weekly swimming lessons at one of their 2 pools. The older children right here by their full-size swimming pool, and the younger children in the smaller training facility. The sports hall allows the children to continue their physical activity indoors during the summer months. This space also boasts a fully equipped theatre, including sound, light and dressing rooms. The core sports here at Capital School Dubai are football, swimming, strength and conditioning, cricket and gymnastics.
What we're going to do today is we're going to just delve into the early years foundation stage and really look at the curriculum. So the early years foundation stage is a stage of education for children from birth to the end of FS2 year. And it's based on the recognition that children learn best through play and active learning. And that's really our ethos in school here at Capital School. We know that if the children are playing, they are learning. There are 4 themes that we talk about in early years. A unique child, positive relationships, enabling environments, and together they give us our learning and development. So let's dig a little deeper into each of these. When we talk about the unique child in early years, we really are saying that each child is unique. And as practitioners, we understand and observe each child's development and learning. We assess progress and we plan for next steps for every child. We support babies right through to children in FS to develop a positive sense of their own identity and culture. We identify any need for additional support and we make sure that that support is in place. We keep children safe and we value and respect all children and families equally. That's what we mean when we talk about a unique child. Positive relationships are vital in the early years. Children learn to be strong and independent through positive relationships. They are warm and loving and they foster a sense of belonging. Positive relationships are sensitive and responsive to the child's needs, feelings and interest. Positive relationships are supportive of the child's own efforts and independence. And they are consistent and setting clear boundaries. And we need to ensure that our positive relationships are stimulating and that they build on key person relationships in the early years settings. We pride ourselves in the relationship that our teachers have with the children. And again, it all feeds back to having that unique child approach. Enabling environments. You've seen from the video, and maybe you can see from behind me here, some of the classroom and the environments that we learn in school. We see the value in learning in the classroom and outside. We really promote outdoor learning. Children learn and develop well in their environments, and enabling environments make sure that they value all people and they value learning. And they offer stimulating resources relevant to all the children's cultures and communities, and rich learning opportunities through play and playful teaching. Our enabling environments support for children to take risks and explore. So we believe that the first three together will allow us to achieve this learning and development. Children develop and learn in different ways, and the framework in the early years covers the education and the care of all children in the early years, including children with any additional needs or disabilities. We teach children by ensuring challenging, playful opportunities across the prime and specific areas of learning and development. I'm going to go into them in just a second. And we foster the characteristics of effective early learning. So playing and exploring, active learning, and creating and thinking critically. So within the theme of learning and development, there are 7 areas, and all areas are connected to one another and are equally important. We have the prime areas, and we all know that the prime areas are critical to get the specific areas. So we really focus on the prime areas when children start school. That is communication and language, physical development, and their personal, social, and emotional development. I think at the minute, with everything going on in the current situation, we really have to hone into this last one, their personal, social, and emotional development, and looking at the mental health of the children and developing that sense of security for each child in our setting. The specific areas of learning are literacy, mathematics, understanding the world, which would be your science subjects, and expressive arts and design. So each of the 7 areas of learning has its own set of early learning goals, which determine what most children are expected to achieve by the end of foundation stage. So when your child starts, if they start in FS1 or FS2, we will be working towards these early learning goals. And we believe that every child, because they are unique and because every child is different, they may achieve the goals at different points in their education career in FS. And we really teach for every specific child. We see every child as unique and set those next steps and that individualized learning so that we achieve and with the children when they're ready. The EYFS profile is an assessment of each child's progress towards the early learning goals. And the profile is updated regularly throughout the year. It shows your child's development and areas for further support. At Capital School, we believe in communication with the parents. We believe in keeping them involved, and we believe that we can work together. So you will have a very clear picture of your child all the way through FS. Some of the activities you might see in these photographs are activities that really build on the children's communication and language. You can see from some of the photos, it might be the activities that the teachers plan, for example, the cooking. And we're really building on those key language skills from such an early age. We plan activities and we plan our environment around this idea of collaborative learning. If children are working in groups, they will be able to talk, share their ideas, and really build upon their language skills. Listening to stories is another key area to develop their communication and language. Providing opportunities for inquisitive play. You can see the little boys here with their magnifying glasses, chatting and sharing ideas of what they think they may have found. So some ideas, what you could have some tips for home to really develop the communication. Read books with your child as often as you can. Talk about the pictures, let them fill in parts of familiar stories, and read their favourite books frequently. Don't be afraid to read the same story every night. I'm sure as parents, you get the same thing as us teachers do, where they want to repeat the same story, and that's absolutely fine. The more children hear a story, the more confidence they will have to fill in those missing blanks in the story or to talk about the story. Make time to listen to your child when they're telling you something. Stop what you're doing and get down to their level. Maybe you could have a special time to talk about their day. If your child's sentence is muddled, don't correct them, but just repeat it back to them how they could have said it. You could join in pretend play with your child, follow their lead, let them be the mum or the teacher. I'm sure you've seen them all role play at home, and just really get involved with it. Sing songs and nursery rhymes, pausing for them to fill in the missing words. You could introduce games with rules such as snakes and ladders. Again, this is going to work on their understanding skills. Your child is still learning new words, and hearing them many times will help them learn them quicker. You will be amazed at some of the big words they will find out in FS and bring home to you. They love learning new words. We really develop the personal, social, and emotional needs of our children. We know that it's very important that children have confidence and self-awareness, that they make relationships not just with the adults, but with the other children in the class, and that they manage their feelings and their behavior. We provide lots of opportunity for collaborative play, whether that's through role play, whether that's through physical development activities, and that child-led approach that we really foster here at Capital School. We want to develop their confidence and their self-awareness so that they're ready to face the world. To help your child with developing their personal, social, and emotional needs, you could talk about whether things are fair or unfair and how to make things fair and why this isn't always possible. Positively showing your child the type of behavior you like by smiling or giving your child a thumbs up sign. Making sure that you're always ready to listen to your child, whatever the situation, good or bad. That way they learn that they can tell you anything and they will be listened to. You can help your child work through disagreements with other children by providing them with the words and the phrases they need. Now more than ever, especially for children that have been outside school settings or nursery settings, where they haven't been able to communicate as often as they would have previously with other children, we really have to ensure the children have those tools to work with other children. So teaching them the phrases and the words that they need will really help them when they come to school. Playing board games, providing other play opportunities to support turn taking and following rules. So again, this is a perfect teaching moment, but you're doing it through play. So playing a board game, you're teaching them about taking turns, about listening to others, about what they can say if they need another turn. Did you know that sharing stories is a useful starting point to talk through social issues? There's some examples of storybooks here, and also at the minute there's lots surrounding the pandemic and the coronavirus that might help your child understand what's going on around them. And remember, behaviour is a form of communication, so try to understand what your child's trying to tell you. Sometimes the children can't communicate. They might say that they have a sore tummy, that they have some pains in their tummy, and sometimes this can be a sign that they have some anxiety and some stress around the situation. And because they can't verbalize that, they feel the tummy pains and that's what they'll verbalize. So it's just be mindful of things that children might say if they don't have the words to explain how they're feeling. These pictures represent the physical development of our children. Physical development is a key area. It's one of those prime areas I mentioned before because it really builds into the specific area, especially with writing. Did you know that children need to have strong muscles in their shoulders, in their back, in their core, in their arms, and in their hands before they're ready to pick up a pencil? So what we do in the early years is we really build upon those skills. Being outside is a great tool for this, and we have a great outside area where we have lots of equipment that will build on the skills and the muscles that the children will need. We do yoga. Children love the yoga in school, and again, it really develops lots of other skills. It develops their ability to think about themselves. It develops their ability to listen to instructions, to wait, and to really listen. Alongside these gross motor skills, we also develop their fine motor, being able to cut, being able to do their own shoes, being able to pick up small items. We really develop their physical development on this key age because it's one of the prime areas. Here are some tips for you. You could encourage your child to dress and undress themselves, even with clothes that have zips and buttons. Again, all these activities will build on those fine motor skills that we need before they're ready to draw, before they're ready to write. When out and about, encourage your child to run up and down hills. Play whole body action rhymes such as head, shoulders, knees and toes, or there's plenty on YouTube. Play tennis with a balloon or a fly swat or a cardboard tube. Encourage your child to help sweeping the floor, hoovering, carrying toy boxes and shopping bags. Again, this action of picking up and carrying heavy items will really develop those muscle skills. And it also teaches them independent skills that they will need when they're in school. We'll be giving them lots of good jobs to do in school to develop their self-confidence and their independent skills. You could give your child objects to stir in a saucepan, such as conkers or corks and rice, which they can scoop and pour into different size containers. Again, this is looking at your physical development, but as you can see, it will link through maths, looking at sizes, containers, capacity. You could rip up paper together, and this will strengthen your child's wrist movements. Go outside, draw patterns in the mud with your child. Lots of parents, especially with younger children, they say, oh, they've got no interest in writing. But did you know if a child picks up a stick, dips it in some mud and starts making marks on the ground, that is early writing. That is a key part of early writing. You can make up fun movements for your child to copy. As they get a little bit older, you could really focus on those fine motors by giving your child small coins to post through a slot. You could give them kitchen tongs to pick up small objects, or a food baster to blow a ping pong into a goal. They love this one in school. When outside, you could encourage your child to carry buckets of sand, gravel, adult watering cans, and maybe push a wheelbarrow. You could play tug of war games, play hopping and crawling races, play hopscotch. Make an obstacle course. They love going over and under, through things. And again, while you're developing these physical development skills, you will also be developing their language skills, such as through, over, under. You could encourage your child to dress themselves when you're not in a hurry. We know sometimes that we're all in a hurry to get somewhere, so wait until you've got some time and give them those independent skills. Show them and then let them have a try. You could encourage your child to help lay the table, empty the dishwasher, peg out the clothes and wash the car. When they come to school, they'll be doing lots of pegging of items. The action of putting pegs on is a great one for developing fine motor. So why not get them to help you at home? Practice large arm movements by letting your child help with cooking, mixing, rolling pastry, scooping and scraping up the bowl. These are all key skills in their physical development, and it will strengthen the bond between you and your child as you start to interact with different activities at home. Now, the first few weeks in school, teachers will find out what the children already know and what they can do, and they use this information to help us develop an individual learning program for each child. So we can look, again, we're looking at where they're up to, and we're looking at where we can help them to move forward. But it's really important that you know that teachers and practitioners really value any contribution you would like to make and helping us get to know your child's needs. So whatever school you choose, remember your teachers and your practitioners, we really want to have that strong relationship with the parents, and we're in it together. I just want to finish by saying this little quote. Adults who help children to play are adults who help children to learn. Don't be afraid to play with your children. When they come to school, they will play and they will learn. And when they go home and you ask them, what have you done all day? And they say, nothing, just played. Please rest assured that through that play, they will have learned a lot of things. And you will see it as the months go on, and you can see all the new skills your child can do. So I hope that we've enjoyed our whistle-stop tour through early years. We really focused today on the prime areas because, like I mentioned at the beginning, the prime areas are vital so that we can achieve those specific areas in mathematics, in literacy, in understanding the world, and expressive arts and design. And I think I explained in this PowerPoint as well that we interlink. All of our activities interlink. So while we're doing an activity that might be based on physical development, we could be incorporating math skills into it, we could be building on language, we could be looking at PSED if they're working in a pair or in a group. So all the areas really do interlink in the early years foundation stage curriculum. And what we really understand is that if we go child-based, when we listen to the child's interest, then we will succeed in moving the children forward with their learning. So I'd like you to use the chat button today if you've got any questions, and I'll pop onto that. Okay. I'm just going to have a little look here. Okay, any questions? Okay, we've got a question here. How do we do the transition from FS2 to year 1? Now that they're online learning, so how do you know what the child is making progress? That's a very good question. So our FS2 children, during this time, and they've had their online learning, they have had constant communication with their teachers on a daily basis, via Zoom, via voice notes, via their portfolios. And what we've put into place is that we've worked together with the parents. We have shared the early years curriculum with them. We have shared the goals and the expectations of where we'd like to move the children. And we have talked all the way through this, through videos, through live Zooms, and through very good work and relationships with our parents. To get the children ready to move up to their next class from FS2 to year 1 and also from FS1 up to year 2, we've developed a really good transition program that we have been working on for a few weeks now. We've been reading stories and songs about them changing teacher. We have sent videos from the children to their new teachers. We have sent photos of their new teachers to them, and we've sent photos and videos of the classroom. We have also planned that when we return in August, we will be able to have a meet and greet with the children, with the parents before they begin school. Now, someone is asking what measures we've put in place for September, which is a very good question. Now, at the minute, because KHDA have announced that we will be going back in September, what we are doing is we are making our plan for September, which we will share with parents when that is finalised. And the school will be able to keep you up to date with that. But we are taking into account everything that the other schools in the region and other countries and other schools are doing really well, and we will be making sure that we put everything in place before it reopens. Have we got any more questions? Oh, we've got one here. Do they receive training for swimming? So because of currently what's going on, they won't swim when they first come back, but when it's safe to do so, the pools will be open. And from FS2, they receive their weekly swimming lessons. You might have seen it at the video there from the start. They have a training pool where the children will receive their swimming lessons weekly from a trained swimming teacher. And all the children from FS2 upwards will receive this. I've got another question here. Is it possible to obtain the early years home learning materials to start with kids at home? My son will be joining in FS2. Oh, that's lovely. Welcome. Roshan, if you would like to get in contact with the admissions team, they'll put you directly in contact with me and we can have a chat about that. Any issues? There's a few coming in here around fees and things. Any issues regarding fees? You would be better contacting the admissions team with that, and they will have all the details. Oh, I think I've got another question here. I've got another question asking, do we manage the social distance in transportation? So the transportation social distance from KHDA is that it will be 30%, and so we will comply with all regulations. And again, there's lots of change. I know it's a very difficult time, and I really empathize with parents because of the time that we're in. We know that it's really difficult for decisions to be made, but we're still a few months away, and as we comply and change our rules and regulations, we will be completely transparent with the parents. So we've had a great relationship with our current parents through the distance learning period, and we hope to continue that on even through the summer months, as I'm sure there'll be lots of staff tirelessly working away to ensure that this is the best possible outcome for our children. Do we have any more questions? Just gonna have a look quick. And someone has said, if e-learning continues, how do we ensure that new students will be comfortable? And actually, because we've had some experience of that this term, I feel comfortable to answer that and confident to answer it, because we have had children joining during the distance learning. And obviously those parents probably had the exact same concerns that you did. So they joined through the distance learning, and the teacher and the parents and the child, we all got to know each other through the distance learning, and they have made great progress. And we've had some parents' evenings yesterday, and the parents were really impressed and pleased and really delighted that the children have made such amazing progress through the distance learning. We know we want the children in school. We know children learn best through play and when they're socializing with children, but we have developed a really strong e-learning curriculum, and we've been really working hard with it. Any information again about the cutoff dates for fees? If you could contact admissions, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to give all that information. And I think that's it with the questions. Yeah, I can't see any more questions popping up. So I just wanted to finish by saying thank you very much for coming online today. I hope you got some information about what it looks like in early years in capital skill. It's usually a lot noisier than this, very different atmosphere with no children, but we will all hope that we'll be back together soon, and I hope to see you then. Thank you so much for joining. Goodbye.